This is the continuation of previous chapter. Do read them first to understand the story better. Kindly read as you hear for better experience.
I rushed to her. As I opened the door, I saw her shivering, and one of the maids was massaging with hot oil. As the maid noticed me, she got up and left the room, closing the door behind her. Despite the heater being set to its highest temperature, she continued to shiver. I walked towards the window and drew the blinds and curtains to make the room more warm and cozy. Her condition did improve from how I found her, but she was still shivering with cold. I walked towards YN. As I took a seat beside her, I saw tears welled up in her eyes. Witnessing her in such a state was painful for me. "I am so sorry for everything that you had to go through," I said, rubbing her hands so as to warm her cold, shivering hands. She looked at me, and more tears filled her eyes. I gently brushed her tears away. "I understand that my family and I have caused you immense pain. I sincerely apologize," I said, bending down to properly tug her in the blanket to ease her shivering. Unexpectedly, she embraced me tightly and started sobbing in my chest. Unsure of how to respond, I gently enveloped her in my arms. She had a lot of bad experiences, her father's death, then losing my father, who cared for her deeply. Even I left her all alone and busied myself in revenge and business. Mom and son Jin's mistreated her, and now even her dog is hospitalized. I had always been cold and distant towards her, and that is why she had been fighting from everything all alone. Now I think it's time I should realize my responsibility and start taking care of her, I thought to myself, while rubbing her back to comfort and warm her. After a while, she pulled away, leaving behind an awkward silence. Our faces were still close, and my gaze shifted towards her lips, and in that moment, I couldn't hold back any longer, and I leaned in, initiating a kiss. I could sense that she was surprised, but at that point, I disregarded any hesitation and continued kissing. As I was busy kissing, I felt her hands pushing me away. I broke the kiss and looked her into the eyes. "Please, leave me alone," she said, trying to get up and walk away. No, wait, please don't go," I said, gently pulling her hands. "I said, let me go," she said, trying to break free from my grip. Her hands were shivering and cold. "You're still shivering," I said, tucking her hands under the blanket. "I can help you get warmer," I said, unbuttoning my shirt. She looked at me with confusion for a moment.
"No, there's no need for that, I'm fine," she said, realizing what I meant while still shivering. "No, you're not fine," I countered, adjusting under the blanket alongside her. "I'm really okay," she tried to resist. "Come here," I said, ignoring her words and pulled her closer, in my embrace. She struggled to break free. "You left me here all alone. You can't just come back and want me to sleep in your embrace," she said, crying.
She continued to struggle, trying to free herself from my embrace, but I held on to her firmly. I had left her lonely for far too long in life, and from this day forward, I vow never to let her go. "YN, please relax. You're not well, and I feel incredibly guilty for never being there to comfort you when you needed me. Today, just let me be here for you," I said, still holding her tightly. Hearing me, she stopped struggling and quietly settled in my embrace. I began to rub her back gently to help warm her up. Her body was still cold, and I hoped she could feel the warmth of my body. She eventually drifted off to sleep, probably exhausted from everything that had transpired. Holding her in my arms felt serene. There was a soothing scent about her that eased my nerves, and the sensation of her head nestled against my chest, seeking warmth, filled me with a profound sense of love and contentment. I realized how delicate and gentle YN was, and it made me wonder how Mom and Songjin could be so cruel to her. What would have happened to her if I did not come here? I thought gently, kissing her forehead. Probably they would have left her in the rain all night. I thought to myself, anger coursed through me as I contemplated their treatment towards her.
I awoke feeling calm and refreshed, as if there was something genuinely wonderful about this morning. "What's this scent?" I pondered, examining myself. I found it was the aroma of oil. Suddenly, all the memories of yesterday rushed back to me. As I glanced down and realized I was wearing Jungkook's shirt, the one he'd changed me into after drying me off. Where is he? Where did he go? I wondered, scanning my surroundings. As I walked down the stairs, I noticed new maids with new uniforms. Who are they, and where did the old maids go? I questioned myself, walking towards the kitchen. Suddenly, YN, a familiar voice called out. I turned to find Mom and Songjin standing there. I was utterly shocked to see them. "We've come to apologize for everything we've done to you," Songjin said, extending an apology. "Nothing like this will ever happen again in the future," Mom added. I was left surprised. I didn't know how to respond. Before I could find the words, they turned and walked out of the house. I'm sure Jungkook must have talked to them about asking for forgiveness, I thought, feeling a sense of happiness, thinking that he cared about me. Excuse me, I approached one of the maids. Where is Jungkook? Sorry, ma'am, I have no idea. The boss left early in the morning, she replied. He left early in the morning, I repeated to myself, a touch of sadness creeping in. Will he come back? I wondered doubtfully. As I was lost in my thoughts, I heard the familiar bark of 𝙬𝙗. I turned around and saw Jungkook standing there with 𝙬𝙗 in his arms. 𝙬𝙗! I exclaimed, running towards them. Don't worry, he's okay. I've got his medicine and his wound will heal soon, Jungkook reassured me. Then he leaned in and planted a kiss on my cheek. My face flushed bright red. Did you have breakfast? He asked gently, placing 𝙬𝙗 on the sofa. I stood there in a mix of surprise and confusion, not knowing how to respond. Jungkook reached out and gently touched my forehead to check my temperature. Are you feeling okay? He asked. I'm fine, I replied. Let's go have breakfast. I've asked them to set the table in the garden in the sunlight, he said, attempting to kiss me again. This time I moved away. I'm very hungry. Let's hurry, I suggested, trying to walk away. He pulled me back and wrapped his arms around my waist. You look amazing, but you can't go out wearing only my shirt, he remarked. I glanced down at myself, realizing I had forgotten about my attire. I'll go and change, I said, feeling embarrassed. No need to be embarrassed. I've seen it all, he said teasingly, and gently picked me up in arms. Don't worry, love. I'm just carrying you to the room, he reassured me as he climbed the stairs. The word love made me blush. My heart skipped a beat. He then gently set me down at the room door. I'll be waiting in the garden, he said, turning around and descending the stairs. It is a beautiful feeling to feel loved. I quickly changed and made my way downstairs. In the garden, I found a beautifully decorated table with food. Suddenly, I felt 2 arms encircle my waist. I'm so sorry for everything you had to endure alone, but I promise I will never leave you again, he said, embracing me from behind and resting his head on my shoulder. Tears welled up in my eyes at his words, and I turned around and kissed him. He was momentarily surprised, but then he kissed me back, and all the worries and doubts seemed to fade away.
This is the end. Hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Turn on the notifications for next update. See ya. Take care.